Hi everyone, I'm Nate from TheRcSaylors. I've got the CutBack here with me because unfortunately in the challenge video we shot, it was really cold out, which means the ground was very hard, and we ramped this way harder than we should have been. It landed on the bumper, right smack down on that bumper quite a few times, and it was just enough to snap the plastic of the CutBack, which is a bit more brittle when it's so cold out, and somehow our rear shock was completely separated, and I think the piston just kind of busted up through, and the oil-filled shock leaked some of the oil out, just completely destroyed it. So we, in this video, are going to replace both the bumper and the rear shock. So if either of those parts break for you, you can just kind of refer to this video and use it as a tool to help guide you along and learn from any mistakes that I might make. Unfortunately, I was a little incorrect in the way I read the bash-proof guarantee coverage by this. Tower Hobbies only guarantees the plastic gears and not all of the plastic parts. So I stand corrected, but luckily the front bumper and the shocks together to replace both things were less than $25 or $30. And that's the best part about a vehicle like this. You've got to keep that in mind with availability on parts when they break. Not only that, this is a pretty universal size that could be upgraded to even more durable things later. Let's take the body off of the RC, look at the damage, and replace the parts. You can see the truck is kind of sitting a little crooked there because it got smashed pretty bad. The bumper, I think, should be pretty easy to replace. I want to show you guys the damage here. You can see it's a pretty straightforward break that just snapped when it landed really hard. So we're gonna pull that off and put a new one on. Okay, so my bumper bag, I'm just now realizing this, came with enough parts to replace all of the rear bumper and the front bumper, so that's neat. We need just the front bumper, and it's going to be very easy. 4 screws. Let me just break all of these off. Just a little twisting is fine, and then I'll probably use my pocket knife to trim these parts off of the tree so it looks better. We're going to use an Allen wrench to remove 4 screws, which, by the way, the bumper set did come with extra screws, which is so nice. That was so easy, just 4 screws. It's in 2 pieces because it broke, and now I'm going to put the new bumper back on right where this one came off. I do want to point out that the bumper has a bit of an elevation to it here. You can probably see that on the camera there, where these 2 bars sticking out from the bumper itself are a bit lower than this piece. Those lower pieces go on the bottom. But you'll see that when you line it up down here. And it kind of just almost snaps on there, and then it screws on. So you can kind of get all 4 pieces, all 4 points of contact snapped on, and then you just take your screws and put them back in with your Allen wrench. This is a very easy thing to replace. And these parts, having broken, are okay. I might be upset if they broke sooner, might be upset if they broke on a different vehicle, but the way we were driving this, I would have expected them to break. I think I told Abby that day, you know, don't be upset if something breaks today. It's really cold out, the ground is hard, the plastic is brittle, so something might break, and it definitely did. You need to know that when you drive stuff. Don't get mad if you break a part on something and it's your own fault. We broke these. It was our fault. It was my fault. It's her fault. We knew we were driving into a bad situation. The front bumper is replaced. 4 screws to remove the old bumper. It easily sat right back in the same spot, and then 4 screws to put it back on. probably the easiest thing I've ever replaced on any RC. Let's try to get into the rear shock now, which shouldn't be hard, but probably a little harder than the bumper. I'm just going to pull that the rear left tire off with my tool, and that way I can get in a bit closer to the shock. Let me just take that off really quick. Okay, pull nuts off. Let's get the tire off of here. Alright, I'm going to take the top off first, I think. Two tools, Allen wrench, shiny silver wrench. So I just got to hold one stationary to loosen the other. The top screw is out. Now I just need to get the bottom one in this shock. I should be able to replace it very soon here. Alright, new shock, cut it open. To my knowledge, unless I'm just an idiot, and sometimes I am, it doesn't matter which shock you use for the left. This is kind of an important step here that I was not expecting. This is your new shock. Okay, the bottom of it is this part I've got pointed up. It's upside down. This is how it normally goes. So the bottom's here. You see there's nothing inside the hole there. There's supposed to be. Alright, this is the metal shaft part of my shock, the old one. And at the bottom, this is the bottom hole that you were seeing. There was this metal, kind of a ball bearing, pivotal piece of metal. Now that's the old shock again, okay? This is the old shock, this is the new shock. Now they look the same. That metal piece that I've got, the ball, needs to go in this. And I popped out this metal ball by doing something like this.
Oh.
It just goes back into the same spot you pulled it out, but in case you forgot, at least the way it comes, it's the middle hole here. Just line up the screw to the hole of the top of the shock. We're gonna put our little nut back on there. Just kind of finger tighten it as much as we can. We use our Allen wrench on the back end here to hold that in place. Use our other tool to tighten that up. Make sure you've got range of motion. We do. It's a pretty similar setting to the other side. So now the last step's just to put our tire back on, and that's it. We now have a new shock, a new rear shock. You can tell just by how clean that is. A new front bumper, again, just by how clean it is. And we're back, ready to go break more parts again. Hopefully this video was useful to a few people out there that have broken similar parts. I'd like to invite you over to our channel and watch the challenge series. In the challenge series, we give away free RC products to people that vote for me or Abby. Just watch a couple of the videos, you'll catch on. If you're not aware of this by now, you can get your Tower Hobbies CutBack at TowerHobbies.com. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.